Welcome to Android Reference. This is Reference 33. Today, we're going to be talking about ADMOB NativeExpressAdView with ListView items. My name is ADMOB. At the end of this tutorial, we'll be able to integrate Google ADMOB NativeExpressAdView with list items in an Android ListView. The full source code can be downloaded from the URL shown below. The roadmap for today, I'm going to show you an example of adding two different objects to a list object in Java. We're going to create a new Android project in Android Studio. I'm going to show you how to add the dependency for Google Play Service ads. I'm going to show you how to create the layout for ListView and items to show in it. Then we're going to create the item class using set and get methods. And lastly, we're going to use list fragments and a custom adapter to show the ListView items with the NativeExpress ads. Before we continue, let me quickly show you an example of list object in Java. Now this is my Java ID JCreator. I've created a class called list object, and I've created three instance variables. The first one is item 1, second one is item 2, and the last one is object list. Item 1 is a list object of string type, while item 2 is a list object of integer type. Object list is a list object of any type. That's why I put object here, since we all know that all classes inherit from object class. This is my constructor. I've initialized all the variables of the list items in my constructor. We all know that list class is an abstract class and it cannot be instantiated, so I've used one of its children to instantiate each of the list variables. Also, I've created several methods to manipulate my list variables. The first one is create item 1 method, which is used to add items to my item 1. Second method is create item 2 method, which is used to add items to my item 2. This method is called add item 1. I use this method to add item 1 object to my object list to show that an object list can be used to store a string data. This is item 2 method. In this method, I use the object list to add item 2 items to the object list. Here, add item 1, item 2. I add all the items 1 and items 2 to object list to show that this object list can accept more than one data type. Add item 1, item 2 mixed. This method is used to add both item 1 items and item 2 items intermixed into each other. This method is my printout method, custom printout method that accepts the list object and iterate through the list and print out what is inside the list. And this is my main method. Now let me start by calling my first method called createItem1 in my constructor. Now I've called this createItem1. It's going to add these items to item 1. Notice item 1 can only store string items, so that's why I have string items here. So let me print out what is in my item 1 by using my custom print out. It's expecting list, so I can put my item 1. Running this program, here I have 20 items in item 1, starting from index 0 to index 19. The second method is create item 2. This is the method. It adds, as you can see here, 5 items to item 2, which are integer. If you try to add other data type to item 2 apart from integer data, it will result into compilation error. It can only accept integer data, while this can only accept string data. So I've called my createItem2 method. Let me see what is inside my item 2 by running this program. This is the result. I have 1 to 5, starting from index 0 to 4. They are all integer items. The third method, add item 1. Add item 1 first clear all the items in object list if there is any, but now there is nothing in object list. But I did it in order to be seen. Now I iterate through item 1 object, since I've called create item 1, so I'm having items in item 1. Therefore I iterate through all the items in item 1 and get each of the items by using get method of list class and add each item to object list. Remember, object list is of type object, so it can be used to store any data type, either string, integer, double, any data type. So let me print out what is inside my object list. Running this program, is the result. I have the same thing as item 1. This shows that object list can be used to add string list from here. The next method is add item 2. Also, I cleared all the items in object list. That is, I cleared all the item 1 object from the item list. Now I iterate through item 2 items, since I've called create item 2. So item 2 has these 5 integers. So I use the get method from the list class to get each item and add them to object list, to show that object list can also be used to add integer data type. Calling my add item 2 and print out what is in object list. Running the program, here we have the same thing as item 2 items. also shows that the object list can be used to add integer items. The next method is add item 1, item 2. It shows that object list can be used to add different type of data at the same time. What I mean is that it adds string data then integer data to the same object list. I cleared what's inside the object list first, then I iterate through the item 1 items to get each of them added to object list. Then I iterate through item 2 objects, which are integer items, get each of the items and add it to object list at the same time. So let me call the method add item 1, item 2. Print out what is inside our object list. I'm having error. Okay, I made the terminating column. Here, if you look at our results, we have 1 to 20 items for item 1, then 1 to 5 for item 2. So total, we are having 25 items in object list from index 0 to index 24. So which shows that an object list can be used to add more than one data type. The last method here is what we call add item 1, item 2 mixed. If you check the results from this method, it first add item 1 items before item 2 items. If you move this for loop up here, you will have item 2 items first before item 1 items. Let's run this. Here we have item 1 item first before item 2 items. But this method clearly shows how to mix the items. That is, maybe we want to be having item 2 items at every third position. The first thing I did was to clear all the items in object list. Then I add all the item 1 items to object list. After that, I declare a local variable called I to check if my item 2 items has not been executed. So using for loop, starting from k is equals to 1. Please pay particular attention to this point. I start from k is equals to 1, not k is equals to 0 here, because I want my item 2 items to come after at every second position. Then here I use k less than object list dot size, not item 2 dot size, because I want to mix all the 5 items in item 2 with item 1 items. So I don't want to go beyond the size of the object list. The second position and every 8th position. Sorry, every 7th position. Now I use this method add. It's different from this add method. This accepts the position you want to insert the item or the object or the data into. So I use this method add k, that is, it's going to iterate through the object list and get my item 2, which is 0, the first item in item 2, and add it to the second position, which is k is equals to 1. The first position is 0, the second position is 1. Then I increment my I. Then I check if my I has been equal to the size of item 2 to stop the loop. The second loop will take 8. Then it will get item 2 because I is now 1. Dot get the second item and add it to the 8th position, and so on till our I will be equal to the size of the item 2 items. Running this code, I'm sorry, let me call the method from my constructor. Add item 1, item 2 mixed, and print out the object list. As you can see, we have item 1 first, then we have item 2, then after the 7th position we have item 2, another 7th position we have item 2, and so on till, as you can see, we only have 4 items from item 2. You can as well manipulate what we have here. You can say you want it at the first position and every 5th position. This item 1 at first position and every 5th position, 5th position, 5th position. So you can play with this and this to get what you want. I might decide I want it at 3 every 3rd position. After the 3rd position, I have item 2. After the 3rd position, I have item 2, and so on. So this will take us to the concept of adding 2 data types to a list object. That is, we might have our items, our contact items here, then our native add item here, and so on. So let's go back to creating a new Android project. I've created a new project. I called my application name ListView NativeAd. It's my package name here. I choose minimum SDK to be 15, which is default. Then I choose empty activity. Then I name my activity to be main activity and ask it to generate a layout file for me and name the layout file activity underscore name main. Then I want backward compatibility to be able to work with older version of Android. Then clicking on finish, I have this activity underscore main .xml layout. So if we create a new Android project, Android Studio, we're going to have this as default. So here we are having text view elements here. So we need to remove all these elements and replace it with our own fragment element. Also, we need to change this constraint layout to linear layout. So the first thing we're going to do is to remove the text view element and replace it with frame layout element that will contain our fragments. Also, we need to remove the constraint layout and replace it with linear layout. So after that, we're going to have this linear layout and our frame layout. Note this ID container is what we're going to use in our main activity. The next thing we're going to do is to add the play service add dependency. Go to your app, click on it and press F4. Then you will have this project structure dialog box. Go to Alt, then check the ADMOB logo, and this will add the play service dependency to your app. Clicking OK and go to your build.gradle file, you're going to see these statements: compile, com.google.android.gms, and so on here. Then the next thing I'm going to add to my Gradle file are next two things are support, design support, and card view support. As you can see, please note that the build version number must be the same, 25.3.1, with what you have with your app compact, 25.3.1, 25.3.1. If you're having 26 point something, always put it 26.26, because that is the build version you are using. So at the end of the day, you have these three statements. Then you will now see a balloon prompting you to synchronize your work so that the Android Studio might work properly. So clicking on synchronize now to synchronize your project. Also, if you don't want to use play service, or maybe you integrate your project with Firebase, you can come to tools and click on Firebase to have Firebase Assistant. Then you can use it to add your dependency for ads. But I'm using default play service add, not Firebase. Then go to your Android manifest file and add this permission, android.permission.internet. Before you can get add, you need internet permission. Also, you need to add this metadata and activity for Google Play Service add to work properly. Then come to values under your resources folder, click on string, then copy this ADMOB sample ID, this one, to your string file. It's a sample ID that will get a sample ad for you during testing. But if you want to go into production, please change it to your ID. The difference between unit ID and app ID: the unit ID is used to get particular ad for that unit, while app ID is your app identifier that you'll be given by ADMOB, and it will be added to your main activity file by using. Then come to your main activity, then add this code, mobile add.initialize, then use your activity, then paste the app ID, which is this. It's also a sample ID, it will work for you. Please remember, don't use the live ID, unit ID during testing. It is against the ADMOB policy to use it. Your account could be suspended or terminated. So the sample ID given below will work for you during testing. So the next thing we're going to do is to create our list items class. My list item class has 4 private variables. The first one is ID, the second one is name, and the third one is address, and the last one is phone. Then I use set and get method to set the 4 variable and to return the 4 variables. Then my constructor will be used to create each list items object by passing the parameters here, the argument needed by the constructor, to the set method. So this is the basic. I can decide to create 5 contact information from the list item class by using the constructor. As you can see, contact 1 is equals to new item because the constructor accepts integer, string, string, string. So by creating this, I have 5 list items objects. Like, you can make it like item 1 in our previous example. So you can add the 5 objects to list objects, your object list, as we have done in the last example. You can use for loop, or you can write it clearly that object list dot add. So after this, our object list will now contain 5 items starting from index 0 to 4. Then you can now decide to insert your NativeExpress add object by using the following code. So at every 3rd position here, I'm inserting the new NativeExpress AdView. So at the end of this, object list will now contain 7 items starting from index 0 to 6, where the add items will occupy the 2nd and the 5th indices. That is 2 and 5. I mean the 3rd and the 5th position, 6th position. So here I create the layout for the items. So I'm having name, address, and phone. The complete code is in the file, in the URL. You can get it from the URL given above. Also, I create the layout for add, the NativeExpress add, by using relative layout parent under card view parent. So this is my card view layout. So I have relative layout inside my card view. Then I add the NativeExpress add view inside my relative layout view. The two things that you need here are what? The unit ID, which you have given in your string file, and the add size. You should know the type of add you want, either small or medium or large size. It's very important. So this is the size for medium add 320 by 122 is medium file, but with this you won't be able to get the test ad from ADMOB because they always serve their ads by using the large size category. So for testing, please use the large size category. This is small size category. The minimum width for small is 280, while maximum width is 120 pixels. Minimum height 80, maximum height 612. These are for medium size. These are for the large sizes. So if you want to get native AdExpress ad, sample ad from ADMOB, try to use the large category. So in this lesson I'm using 320 by 250. So you can see this 320 is here, by 250 is here for sample ads. But stick to your ads. If you have chosen small size in the ADMOB platform, please use the size here. If you have chosen medium, select any size here, and if you have chosen large size, please use the category here. But for you to get sample ads, use the large size category. So I'm using 320 by 250 to get sample ads. So here I also create the fragment items that will contain my list. So my list will be used to add the contact items and add items. Please note this place, I'm using their ID. I'm using Android ID, not my own ID, for me to use my list fragment. So it's now time to create our items fragment that will be added to our main activity file. We're going to take this following step to create our items fragment. The first thing to do is to create custom adapter, and our custom adapter will extend the base adapter and define all the abstract methods in base adapter, and also override two concrete methods. The third is to declare a list object to store the contact items and native ads. And the last, we need to create and add contacts and the add item to the list object. Then need to tell our main activity to replace its container with our items fragment. So let's go to our items fragment. Create a new class called items fragment. Then extend list fragment. I'm using list fragment here because it has already done a lot of work, so I don't need to be reinventing the wheel. So the first thing I did was to create my custom adapter and extend base adapter in a private class. Starting from here to here. So let's go through our custom adapter. Here I declare some static final variables. The first one is type underscore count is equals to 2, which is the number of different items to adapt. So I'm adapting 2 items to my list fragment, to my list. The first one is contact items, while the second one is add items. So my contact type, I gave it 0, while add type is 1. Then the maximum adds I want to show in the list will be 3. You can change it if you like. If you want to show 10, put 10. Then I declare 3 variables. The first one is layout inflator, that will be used to inflate my layout file, like items layout and add layout. The second one is the list object, to add the 2 types of item as we've done in the Java example. While the third variable is context, to use to inflate our inflator. So I create a constructor for my custom adapter that accepts context and the list items we want to adapt. So getting these two parameters, I initialize my item list to be what is given here and my constants to be what is given here. Then my layout inflator will now be equal to context.getSystemService. So that's my constructor. Then the next thing I did was to implement 4 abstract methods of base adapter class. Base adapter class has several methods, 4 which must be implemented because they are abstract. So the first one is get count, second one is get item, third one is get item ID, while the last one is get view. Also, I override 2 concrete methods from the base adapter. The first one is get item view type. Now this must return the type of items you want to show at a particular position. So I'm returning for that position, I'm returning any item in that position in my list. I'm checking if it is type of list item, then it should return contact type, which is what 0, and if it is add items, should return add type, which is 1, because we must return integer. Contact type, add type. The second method is get view type count. That is, I want to know the number of items to adapt, if it is 1 item or 2 items. So here we are returning type underscore count. If you want to adapt more than 2, just replace your type count with the number of items you want to adapt. Then you must have their resources listed here. So I'm adapting as item and contact items. So the first abstract method is get count. That is, I need to tell my base adapter that this is the number of items I want to show in my list. So I'm returning the size of the item list passed to my custom adapter. Second method is get item position. Which of the item you want to show at this position? So I'm returning the position in item list. If it is add items, it's going to return it. If it is contact items, it's going to return it as object. The third method is get item ID. So which one is your ID? So I'm returning the position. So that is, I want my custom adapter to adapt my items as it has been arranged in my item list. So I'm returning position, use the same position. So the last method is get view. So we need to pay attention here. It is returning view object. The first thing we need to do is to get the type of items at that position. So I'm calling one of the method get item view type. So I'm passing position to it. So this is the method get item view type. Get item view type. So for that position, it's going to check if the item of the item list is instance of list item. It's going to return contact item. If not, it's going to return add type. So I'm putting the type here, which is integer, either 0 or 1. Also, I'm getting the item of that position by calling this method. It's going to return the item in that position, either contact items or add item with object. So I'm storing the object in this item. Next, we need to check our view if it is none. If it is none, we need to create it. If it is none, we need to inflate it. If not, we need to use it. So here we are checking if it is none. If it is none, we want to inflate it. So I'm using switch case to check my type. If the type is contact type, this is my type. If it is contact type, I'm inflating using layout inflator to inflate the contact items, then passing this parent, and I don't want it to attach to the parent root. That's why I put false. So this is my convert view. So my convert view will be equal to either contact items or add items, depending on the type. If the type is add style, so I will inflate add style. Don't forget your break statement. So after that, so if it's not none, then we get it to work. Then we check the type. If it is add type, then we create NativeExpress AdView from our add item by using the convert view, which is our layout, to find view by ID, which is out.id.addView. If you check our add items, you can see our ID here, add view. Add view. So after that, we now need to load the add immediately. So AdView.load, we need to call this method AdView.load add. Remember, if you are testing, please use this method. Load add new add request.builder.add test device. Then put your testing device here. .build. But if you are into production, remember to comment this and uncomment this line. AdView.load add. Just request for builder immediately. Do not add test device, otherwise you'll be getting test add. And if our type is not add type, if it is contact item, so we need to get our items from here. This first one is test name, this one is test address, which are test view, and the last one is phone. So we are using our convert view to find their ID. After that, then we need to create list item object called contact item. Then we cast the object to our list item since it is list items. Then we can use this object to get each method in our list item and attach it to each of the test view. Test name does set test, contact item does get name, test address does set test, contact item does get address, test phone does set test, contact item does get phone. So after, at the end of the day, we return our convert view, and that's the end of our base custom adapter. So after creating your custom adapter class, then the next thing is to create a reference for your custom adapter as a variable inside your items fragment. Then the next one, create a list object that will accept both items. Then I like the idea of creating empty constructor for my fragment. If you like, if you want anything in your own resume, put it here, or create method, put it here. But the most important method is on create view method, which will return our view. Since I'm using list fragment, so and I have used the Android ID list, and I don't need to instantiate my list view variable. So once I return view, it will adapt it to any of these ID it found. So here I'm inflating using the layout inflator from the method to inflate this, the list layout. Then I call this method, which is set list item, to add all the 2 items into our object list. Then I return the view to my list fragment. Now coming to our method set list items, I initialize I instantiate my object list with new array list. Then I call these 2 methods, add contact items and add item. I'm coming back here. Let us check my add contact items. So this is my add contact items. The number of contacts I want to add is 20. Then I use for loop to iterate and add list items objects to my object list. So this will create 20 list items objects and add it to object list. Download the source code and check if you understand better. Then the next method is add item. So here I'm using number of adds to count the number of adds I want to add to object list. So starting from the 4th position or 4th index, which is the 5th position, and every 5th position I want to get my adds there. So for int I is equal to 4, I less than object list dot size I plus equal to 5. I'm creating a new NativeExpress AdView by passing the context, which is our main method, our main activity. Then for the for loop, I'm adding each of the adds objects to object list at this index. The first one will be index 4, the next one will be 9, the third one will be 14, and so on. Then I increment the number of adds and I check if the number of adds is equal to custom adapter dot adds maximum. Here I've declared a particular variable called add maximum, which is 3. So you can put 4, you can put 5, and so on. So I'm checking if the number of adds is equal to custom adapter dot adds maximum. Please note here I'm using object list dot size. I'm checking this. So if this is equal to maximum adds, then it will break from the for loop. So at the end of the day, we're going to have this item mixed with add item in our object list. So after this, our object list would have contained both our adds and our contact objects. Then I need to instantiate my adapter, my custom adapter. New custom adapter. If you check our custom adapter, it accepts two parameters. So I want to pass these two arguments into it. Get context, because it's requesting for our context and our object list. So passing this and this to it. Now we need to check this method, get list adapter, is inherited method from our list activity, get list adapter. So if get list adapter is equals to none, then we use our inherited method set list adapter to adapt our adapter. So the adapter for this list will now be our custom adapter. Then if it is not known, we just notify our adapter that there is a changes in it. And that's the end of it. Our items fragment. So the next thing to do is to go to your main activity file and add this code. Get support fragment manager dot begin transaction dot replace. This is our container in our activity underscore main. This, which is this, will be replaced by items fragment. So we want to replace this with this, then dot commit. Then after that, click run to run your code. And that's the end of the tutorial. If you like this, please give a like and subscribe to our channel for more lessons. If you have any comment, question, or you need help, please drop your comment below. Thanks for watching.